Alright, today we're going to be talking about lessons 2 and 3 in Module 3. And lessons 2 and 3 are going to talk about real-world positive and negative numbers and 0. We have 3 new learning targets. 1, I can use positive and negative numbers to indicate a change in elevation, temperature, and bank balance. 2, I can use vocabulary to describe and represent situations involving integers. And 3, I can choose an appropriate scale for a number line based on a set of integers. Please follow along as I read this scenario. For Tim's 13th birthday, he received $150 in cash from his mom. His dad took him to the bank to open a savings account. Tim gave the cash to the banker to deposit into the account. The banker credited Tim's new account $150 and gave Tim the receipt. 1 week later, Tim deposited another $25 that he earned as allowance. The next month, Tim's dad gave him permission to withdraw $35 to buy a new video game. Tim's dad explained that the bank would charge a $5 fee for each withdrawal from the savings account and that each withdrawal and charge results in a debit to the account. Now, we are going to look back at this scenario and we are going to figure out which events happened first. So the event that happens first, Tim has received $150 from his mom. Second, he opens a savings account. Third, he makes a deposit into that account. Fourth, the banker credited his account $150. Then, 5, Tim made another deposit of $25. Next, Tim's dad tells him that the bank is going to charge him a $5 fee for each withdrawal. And lastly, each withdrawal and charge results in a debit to the account. Now let's talk about a few words that you might not know that came up in that scenario. The first one is deposit. And a deposit simply means that you are adding money to an account. The second word is a credit. And a credit simply means that a bank or a store adds money or gives you money back. Third, debit means that you have made a payment or that a payment is owed. A charge simply means that money is being taken out of your account. That could be by the bank or a store. And lastly, a withdrawal means that you are taking money out of your own bank account. Now let's practice what these scenarios mean and how we can turn them into integers and put them on a number line. So our first event is that Tim had opened a bank account with 0. So what is the integer in that event? The integer is 0. Now let's place the integer 0 on our number line. Our second event says that Tim made a $150 deposit. What is the integer in that event? Our integer here is 150. Now remember, an integer is just a number, so the unit is not included. Now let's place our integer of 150 on our number line. Our next event says that he was credited an account for $150. So what is our integer for that event? Our integer for that event is 150. So again, let's go ahead and place that 150 on our number line. Now, Tim makes a deposit of $25. What is our integer in this scenario? Our integer is 25. Now let's place our integer of 25 on our number line. As you can see, I have drawn a number line with both the numbers 25 and negative $125. Because we are making a deposit and we are adding money, that means it is going to be a positive integer. So our point is going to be on our positive 25. Now, a bank makes a charge of $5. What is our integer for that scenario? Our integer is 5. Now, as you can see on our number line, I have gone from 0 to positive 15 and 0 to negative 15. And I said our integer was 5, but we also have to determine if our integer is a positive or a negative. And since it is a charge, that means money is being taken out, so therefore it is a negative number. So if it is a negative number, then our point on our number line has to be to the left of 0 at negative 5. Now, Tim withdraws $35. What is our integer, and is it going to be positive or negative? The answer? Negative 35. Now, our number line has both positive 35 and negative 35. And our integer is negative 35, so we're going to plot our point to the left of 0 at negative 35. Now, let's talk about how positive and negative numbers work when it comes to temperature. On the right-hand side of your screen, you can see that I have a picture of a thermometer. Alright, so the boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. If you look at our thermometer, where would 100 degrees Celsius be located? Alright, no, this is not a trick question. The answer is not shown on a thermometer. As you can tell, our thermometer only goes to 50 degrees Celsius and 120 degrees Fahrenheit, so that means that our 100 degrees Celsius is not shown on the thermometer. Now, thinking about a vertical number line, describe the position of the integer that represents 100 degrees Celsius. So where would 100 degrees Celsius fall on a vertical number line? 100 degrees Celsius would be above 0 at 100 units. If you think about it, a thermometer is just a vertical number line. Remember, vertical number lines go up and down, just like the thermometer. Now, if we look at our thermometer does tell us the temperature. So if we look at it, what is the temperature shown in Fahrenheit? So we need to make sure that we are looking at our correct side of our thermometer, and Fahrenheit is on the left side. So our temperature is at 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Make sure you always include those units. Now, how about Celsius? Celsius is on the opposite side of Fahrenheit, so it is on the right side. So if it is 100 degrees Fahrenheit, what is our Celsius degrees? It is about 38 degrees Celsius. Now, what is the freezing point? It tells us for Celsius, so therefore, what is the freezing point for Celsius? 0 degrees. If we look across it, if it is 0 degrees Celsius, that means our freezing point for Fahrenheit is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Alright, let's go over a few final examples. On the screen, you see 3 different scenarios. We are going to decide what the integer is and if it is positive or negative. So scenario 1, a company loses $345,000. What is our integer? Our integer is 345,000. Now, Is it going to be positive or negative? We need to look for a key word, and our keyword is loses. And if we are losing something, that means it is a negative number. Now let's look at the second one. You earned $25 for dog sitting. Our integer is 25. Now is it positive or negative? A key word here is earned. If you are earning something, it is positive. So our number is positive, and all you need is 25. You do not need a plus sign in front of the 25. And lastly, the temperature is 4 degrees below 0. Our integer, 4. Our key word here, below 0. And if something is below 0, it is a negative number. Now that you know about real world situations with positive and negative numbers, I think it is your turn to go try the problem set.